Welcome to the Deep Dive, The Learner. So you want to really get into Emily Henry's funny story, and that's exactly what we're going to do today.
Yeah, think of this as like your tailored guide. We'll hit the key stuff, those aha moments, without, getting bogged down.
Exactly. So the book Funny Story, the premise is pretty unique. Two people, Daphne and Miles.
Right, total strangers, basically.
Yeah.
And they end up roommates because their fiancés leave them for each other.
Ouch. Ouch is right. It definitely sets up a situation ripe for, well, for exploring connections in weird places.
Definitely. And that's what we'll dig into, right? Themes, how the story's put together, and really understanding Daphne and Miles.
Yep. Your express ticket to getting this book. So where should we start? Themes.
Themes sound good. But let's maybe kick off with that core idea of unexpected connections and maybe even found family.
Okay, yeah. Because their initial meeting is, well, it's not exactly a meet cute, is it?
Not at all. Thrown together by this shared, massive heartbreak. And you see that awkward roommate phase play out.
Totally. The music versus movies thing, the trying to smoke out the window discreetly, it's very relatable awkwardness.
It is.
Yeah.
But those small moments, they actually build something, don't they? They're navigating this shared space, this shared mess.
All right. And then you have moments like that drunken walk home from the bar.
Oh, yeah. That felt like a real turning point. Like suddenly they're not just the jilted exes. They see a bit more vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. And that shared vulnerability, understanding exactly what the other person's going through, that's powerful, more than their old partners could offer, ironically.
Exactly. It kind of lays the groundwork for everything else, including the slightly crazy fake dating idea.
Which is classic Emily Henry, right? But it works here. But it's not just about them, is it? Their support system grows.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not just Daphne and Miles against the world. You see them both start to connect outwards.
Like Ashley, Daphne's colleague at the library. Starts off kind of reserved, but becomes this really solid friend.
Totally. And Miles' sister, Julia, she's so different, so energetic, but brings this warmth and support for him.
Even the smaller characters like Harvey and Elda at the library, they add to this feeling of like a community building around them.
Yeah, a chosen family almost.
Yeah.
Which is such a contrast, especially for Daphne.
Right, because she talks about her past, all the moving friendships that didn't last, and feeling like she just sort of fit into Peter's existent life.
This new network feels much more hers and earned in a way.
Which kind of flows nicely into the next big theme, doesn't it? This idea of reinvention, finding yourself after everything falls apart.
Absolutely. Both Daphne and Miles are basically forced to ask, okay, who am I now? Without that relationship defining them.
Daphne's journey feels really central there. At first, she's so wrapped up in being Peter's fiancée, this future she had mapped out.
Yeah, and then poof. But watching her rediscover things she actually enjoys, like her job, that's great.
It really is. Her enjoyment of the library work, her growing independence, even just thinking about maybe moving closer to her mom. It's all part of her figuring things out.
And Miles has his own version of that. Maybe a bit more internal at first. He's dealing with how Petra saw him. Right?
Yeah.
And his own ideas about relationships.
Yeah, what he thought a relationship should be. And we see him slowly peel back those layers, show some vulnerability, especially with Daphne and with Julia, too.
Right, he lets that guard down.
And we have to mention the mourning beard.
Oh, the beard, yes. It's such a perfect little detail, like this fuzzy external sign of his internal turmoil. Temporary, but telling.
Totally. So as they're both on these paths of rediscovery, the book also digs into just the nature of love itself, right? All different kinds.
Definitely. Romantic, sure, but also family stuff, those deep friendships we talked about.
Yeah.
It explores the whole spectrum.
And you see how their pasts really influence their approach to romance now. It's not straightforward for either of them.
Not at all. Daphne's got the background with her dad, that inconsistency.
Right. And Miles has the dynamic with Petra where it seemed like he was always trying to be enough, or what she wanted him to be.
Exactly. So they both bring that baggage, those hesitations, into this new tentative thing that's developing between them.
Which makes the contrast even clearer, doesn't it? Between whatever Peter and Petra had, which seemed so perfect from the outside, and this messy, funny, but like real connection Daphne and Miles are building.
So real. It's not polished, but it's authentic. And that ties into another theme, that idea of deserving love.
Oh, yeah. When Miles says that line about Daphne making him feel like he deserves it just as he is.
That's such a key moment. It's him starting to see his own worth, separate from trying to earn approval,
Mm,
which, is something a lot of people struggle with, feeling like you have to be something else to be loved.
absolutely. Which leads us, I guess, to the idea of letting go of the past, embracing while not knowing what's next.
Yeah, that's huge for both of them. They have to consciously work through it.
You really feel Daphne wrestling with the ghost of Peter, the life she thought she'd have, even just cleaning out the wedding stuff. It's a whole process.
And Miles has to confront his feelings about Petra, but also recognize maybe that relationship wasn't as healthy as he thought.
It's about accepting the uncertainty, right? And taking a chance, especially on each other. That feels like a big leap for both of
A
them.
huge leap.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we pivot a bit to like how the story is told,
Mm,
the structure and stuff.
right. It's mostly Daphne's perspective, isn't it? But you still get a really good sense of Miles.
Exactly. It's technically Daphne's point of view, but Emily Henry is so good at showing us Miles through his actions, his dialogue, Daphne's observations of him. We piece him together.
Yeah, you definitely get insights, like how he reacts when Daphne talks about him being nice, or those moments of vulnerability with Julia, or how he steps up when Daphne's dad shows up. You see his side, even without being inside his head.
Totally. And the pacing and tone, she nails that balance, doesn't she? It's funny, genuinely funny, but it also has real emotional weight.
It does. Which is perfect for what you, the learner, wanted engaging but not overwhelming. You get the witty banter, Daphne's internal thoughts are often hilarious.
But then it hits you with these moments of real vulnerability,
Mm.
real emotional processing. It's not just fluff.
So thinking about those key plot points that create that balance, what stands out?
Well, obviously the initial setup, the forced cohabitation, that awkwardness turning into this weird kind of camaraderie.
Yeah. And then the fake dating pact, that really throws fuel on the fire, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. It forces them into situations, makes them confront things, see each other differently, often hilariously.
And the supporting cast really drives things forward, too. Ashley giving Daphne some tough love, or Julia just being Julia and stirring things up for Miles.
Right. Even Peter coming back, trying to win Daphne over it, actually helps her figure out what she doesn't want anymore.
Good point. And those big moments, the beat bonfire feels important.
And the senior prom redo, so awkward, so funny, but also kind of sweet.
Definitely. And the confrontation with Daphne's dad, that's a heavy moment, but crucial for both of them.
Yeah, it really tests their connection. And then you have Peter and Petra popping back up, adding external pressure.
Right, it all kind of builds and builds towards the end, doesn't it? Leading up to that readathon.
Exactly. That feels like the emotional peak where things really come to a head.
Okay, let's zoom in on the characters themselves then. Starting with Daphne. How do we see her change?
Well, she starts off, understandably, just completely heartbroken, feeling lost, like her identity was all tied up in Peter.
Yeah, she seems practical, maybe a bit guarded too, which makes sense given her dad and all the moving around she did.
Definitely guarded. But as things go on, you see her start to really find her own feet, build her own identity separate from him.
She finds her strength, right,
Yeah.
and builds those real friendships like with Ashley. She starts opening up.
Yeah, she opens up to new possibilities, not just in love, but in her whole life. You see her wit, her observant nature, how much she cares about her job.
And her growth is really clear in how she handles things later on, like dealing with her dad or realizing she doesn't want Peter's huge house.
Exactly. Or just being able to actually tell Miles what she needs, what she feels. That's huge growth from where she started.
Okay, what about Miles? What's his arc like?
Miles, initially he comes across as like the charming, easygoing guy, right?
Mhm.
But underneath, he's obviously hurting too.
Mm.
And maybe a bit shaped by what Petra expected him to be.
Yeah, maybe lacking a bit of self-awareness at the start.
Could be. But we see him become way more vulnerable. He starts to really look at his past relationship with Petra, the unhealthy parts of it.
And he starts to see his own worth, too, that line about deserving love.
Right. And he shows such genuine care for Daphne. It's not just charm, it's real support.
Like comforting her or standing up to her dad for her.
Yeah. And that conversation during the readathon, where he's really open, he starts off maybe avoiding deep emotional stuff, but Daphne kind of pulls it out of him in a good way.
It feels like they both help each other grow, and the supporting characters grease the wheels, so to speak.
Definitely. Ashley's that loyal, sharp friend Daphne needs. Julia's energy pushes Miles.
Peter. Well, Peter helps Daphne see what she doesn't want, ironically.
Right. And Petra, she's the catalyst for the whole thing, really.
Yeah.
She represents that past dynamic Miles needed to break free from. They all play their part.
So wrapping this all up then, after this deep dive into funny story, what are the big takeaways for the learner?
I think It really shows how powerful unexpected connections can be, how they can help you heal after something tough like heartbreak, and how loss can actually lead to finding yourself in a new way.
Yeah, and it explores love in all its forms, romantic, friendship, family, but emphasizes that real messy connection over some idea of perfection.
Exactly. And that crucial idea of letting go of the past, letting go of expectations, and just embracing the uncertainty, taking a chance on something new.
It feels really relatable, doesn't it? Navigating life when it throws you a curveball, it offers some genuine insights into how those detours can lead to growth and unexpected happiness.
hmm So maybe a final thought for you, the learner. Think about those unexpected connections or turns in your own life. Have things that seemed negative at first actually led to something good? A new friendship, maybe, or some personal growth you didn't expect.
Yeah, reflecting on that might give a new perspective on life's.
Well, it's funny stories.
Definitely. It's all about how those unexpected moments shape us.
Well, this has been your tailored deep dive into a funny story. We really hope it gave you that comprehensive, engaging look you were after.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear what you thought, your interpretations. Feel free to share them.
Thanks for diving in with us today.